High-performing women, particularly if they're empathic or highly sensitive, are sometimes undermined by energy vampires at work. If you're working with someone who seems to purposely make you angry, frustrated, and confused, it might not be you who's the problem. You may be the victim of an energy vampire. Hi, it's Megan Chambers here. I have over 25 years experience in the corporate world, and now I love assisting empathic business women to reduce stress so they can shine at work. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe below. Click the little bell so you're notified when I release new videos. The link to my mailing list is below if you want to stay in touch. Please make a comment below about your experiences with energy vampires. The more information we all have, the better we can protect ourselves from them. You may be a victim of an energy vampire at work if you have a track record of high performance and enjoying your work, but now you're working with someone who makes you feel like you're not doing a good job and you're no longer enjoying going to work. You might wake up in the morning feeling anxious about going to work because of this person. You might worry about the next time you'll have to be in a meeting with them. You continually think about previous interactions you've had with them, and these thoughts are making you uneasy, perhaps angry or frustrated or confused. They're very good at causing confusion, and they do it on purpose to destabilize you. Their words sound reasonable, but they give you an uneasy feeling. So there's a mismatch between what they say and how they make you feel. This is your intuition telling you that something's not right, even though on the surface, everything seems to be okay, so don't ignore it. Because if you do ignore it, the constant stress will lead to ongoing release of cortisol. This makes the body produce inflammatory chemicals, which makes you susceptible to illnesses, both short-term, like colds and flus, and long-term, like diabetes and cancer. The stress can also lead you to self-soothe by doing things like drinking too much alcohol, eating food that's low in nutritional value because you're too tired to cook healthy food, and reaching for high sugar and high caffeine foods and drinks to give you that hit of energy that you need to get through the day. This is a recipe for disaster in terms of your longer-term health and well-being. So what are some of the characteristics of energy vampires? They need power and control. And it's not just that they want it, they actually need it. It's their food. Their other sources of food is the suffering of others, and they revel in it. When these food sources are cut off, they lose interest and they go and look for it somewhere else. This is a key to dealing with them, by the way. There are two types of people in the world. There's service to others and service to self. Most people are service to others. They see the world and the workplace as a place to cooperate and to be productive. But energy vampires have a different perspective, that the service to others people, that is normal people, find hard to understand. They see the world and the workplace as a place to manipulate people and situations to gain as much power and control as they can. They actually find it fun. It's a game to them, but to others it can be devastating. Because normal people find this almost impossible to comprehend, they also find it hard to believe that the manipulations are actually happening. And this is a big problem because it means they don't understand the gravity of the situation, and they tend to blame themselves for their problems at work, thinking if only they could communicate better, the problem would resolve itself. If only they could handle situations differently, or if only they could handle the person differently, or somehow behave differently, then everything would be okay. So they twist themselves in knots, trying to figure out how to communicate better or what to do differently to fix the problem. But now the vampires got what they want. They've got someone who's confused and fearful and anxious and worried. This is the energy they feed on. If you need something from the vampire, then they've got you because they know you can be manipulated. They're very good at identifying emotional weak points. Like if you grew up feeling unloved or were bullied at school, it's almost like they can sense this. So they might initially love bomb you, telling you how wonderful you are and saying things like, "What did I ever do without you?" to get you on their side so they can then use you to get what they want. One of the problems of detecting them is that they destroy people in secret. And because they've been practicing for many years, they're very good at it. They're good at conveying the message that you're not good enough or there's something wrong with you in a way that if you put it into words, you sound crazy. For example, they might not invite you to a meeting, but then say they just forgot. They might roll their eyes at you when you speak, whether that's in private or in meetings, but when you confront them, they deny it. They might talk over you so you can't get your point across, but because interrupting others is a cultural norm in organisations, this behaviour doesn't look unusual. They might contradict you in front of others, making it seem that you're not doing a good job or even that you're incompetent. Again, because of the toxicity of some workplaces, this might not be seen as unusual or bad behaviour, certainly not unacceptable behaviour. If you told someone any of these individual things, they could easily dismiss it as you being too sensitive. But if you recorded as facts every time these little things happened, and if others do so too when they experience them, it builds a picture of what this person's doing and gives you a stronger case for action to be taken. It also helps you see that you're not going crazy, that this is actually happening, that it's real. Many years ago, I had an energy vampire speak extremely rudely to me in a meeting in front of others. At the time, I just sat there seething. I had never experienced such a thing before and I was shocked and I didn't know how to handle it. If I were in that position now, I would physically stand up and say he has no right to speak to me like that, and I would walk out of the meeting. I would immediately document everything using facts. I would send a copy to HR and my manager and schedule a conversation with both HR and my manager as soon as possible to get on record what happened. This particular energy vampire worked in my organisation for 4 years. If everyone who experienced his behaviour did what I described, he wouldn't have lasted and been able to destroy lives for that long. And destroy lives he did. That's what they do. Energy vampires feed off the negative energy of destroyed lives. So that's the strategy I would recommend. If you can disengage from them and refuse to play their game, such as by walking away whenever they get abusive, then do that. If you continually refuse to play, you'll be no fun and they'll move on to someone else. But I know that's not always possible in work situations, so if you do have to deal with them, record everything using facts. Do document how they made you feel, but if you don't also include the facts, it will seem like you're the problem, that you're too sensitive. Make sure your manager and HR, if you have an HR department, knows about it. If it's your manager who's the vampire, get support from someone either at their level or above. But do be aware that the vampire might be spreading rumours about you behind your back, so be careful who you enlist for support. I know this can be difficult, but if you can, transfer to another department or get a job in another company. But don't let the vampire know you're looking to change jobs because they might spread misinformation about you to your potential new manager. Whatever you do, don't try to beat them at their game. They're professionals, you will lose. Finally, seek the help of a licensed mental health care provider who has experience in this area. Look for them to have experience in workplace bullying and dealing with psychopaths and narcissists. There is so much more to this topic and many more things you can do to support yourself. Here are 2 books I recommend. Dr John Clarke's The Pocket Psycho. This is the short version of his book Working with Monsters and gives you everything you need to know in an easily digestible form. He has great information on how to spot vampires, the effects on their victims, and how to protect yourself. And Dr Christiane Northrup's Dodging Energy Vampires, which is written specifically for empaths and highly sensitive people who tend to be particularly targeted by energy vampires. Dr. Northrup has a YouTube channel which I've linked below. I hope this has been helpful. If you think you might be in a relationship with an energy vampire, you'll want to watch my next video where I lead you through an EFT tapping sequence to help relieve some of the stress you're holding in your nervous system from being in that relationship. While doing this isn't going to make the situation go away, it will help calm your nervous system. And when your nervous system is calmer, you can think more clearly. And when you think more clearly, you can generate better solutions. You'll also lower your risk for short-term and long-term illness from stress. For more tips and practices to reduce your stress so you can shine at work, subscribe and click the notification bell. Visit my website for information about how I can support you personally so you can experience a way of living that isn't full of strain, where you can relax and be yourself and go for your dreams without resistance. The link is below. Remember that even if you are experiencing stress due to your work situation, you are the boss of you and you can make profound changes. See you next time.